Thank you. Merci. Bon après-midi, tout le monde. Good afternoon, everyone. We're going to start with our daily update with just in Ontario numbers. We're up to 31,341 cases in Ontario, which is an increase of 251, which is a lower number. Um, One of the biggest increases to that was one outbreak if I'm not mistaken, it was where was it? It was Windsor, where they had a farm that had 51 positive cases. So if we remove that, we're looking at under 200, which is actually a very good trend. Donc, si on voit au niveau des chiffres, on est rendu à 31 341 cas en Ontario. Avec ça, ça représente une augmentation de 251. Mais 52 cas à peu près dans ça sont une flambée à une ferme à Windsor. Donc, si on enlève ça, on est rendu à moins de 200 cas, qui est nos buts. Nos buts est de voir en descendant, on était à 400 par jour au niveau d'augmentation pour quelques jours la semaine passée. Là, on était 300 quelques. Là, on est rendu en bas de 200, qui est des bonnes nouvelles. So we're going in the right direction. The deaths are up to 2,475 across the province with an increase of 11, and that includes 1,766 in long-term care homes. Donc, au niveau des décès, on est rendu à 2 475 et parmi ces 1 766 cas sont des résidents encore tragiquement, des résidents des institutions de longue durée. In terms of our local statistics, again, not much of a change. Au niveau local, on n'a pas beaucoup de changements. Par contre, on a ajouté un cas. We had one case from the Prescott Russell area. On avait un cas de Prescott Russell qui a été ajouté aujourd'hui. Donc, au niveau de Prescott Russell, on a rendu à 109 cas, donc on augmente une. Au niveau des restants de l'Est d'Ontario, on est stable. So our numbers are stable in the rest of Eastern Ontario Health Unit area, with the exception of that one increase in Prescott Russell. And again, hospitalized remains the same, two and one still in the ICU. No change in our number of deaths. Au niveau des patients hospitalisés, on a toujours deux, avec une qui est toujours aux soins intensifs à Ottawa. Et au niveau des décès, c'est la même chose. Au niveau des flambées, au niveau des institutions, on a toujours une et 5 résolus. So we're still with our one outbreak in Saint Viateur and Limoges, with 5 resolved. Au niveau des tests, on est rendu à 10 743. We're at 10,743 tests totally. And I'll break it down in terms of our test centers. In Hawkesbury, we're at 1,363. In Cornwall, 1,953. Winchester, 1,060. Castleman, 1,654. Rockland, 978. Prescott Russell EMS 74 and SDNG EMS 119. Donc, au niveau des tests en total, Duxbury, jusqu'à date, ils ont fait 1363 tests, Cornwall 1953, Winchester 1060, Castleman 1654, Rockland 978, et les paramédics de Prescott Russell 74 et les paramédics de SDNG 119. Um, most of our day right now, again, those are numbers that are stable as far as we're concerned. And most of our day today, really, in this past week, has had to do with our many questions that we're getting from a lot of agencies, personal service settings, restaurants, how you can set it up. And so I'm going to go through some resources that I'd like to share, so perhaps the media could share with them as well. On a pas mal de questions au niveau d'ouverture, bien sûr, au niveau des salons de coiffeurs, le barbier, les restaurants avec les patios, les piscines, tout ça, les garderies. Donc, j'aimerais un peu vous montrer un peu des ressources qu'on pourrait partager avec la public. Premièrement, au niveau Sur nos site web, on our website, on our coronavirus section, we have a section here that's information for partners, community partners, and we have a whole slew of guidance documents, either the ones we have or documents that are the ministry's documents, where we put them here. So, for example, we just put public waterfronts and beaches, beach guidelines for municipalities and other beach owners. Very soon, there's going to be pool guidelines, personal service center guidelines as well for barbershops and so on. And I had a question about barbershops and salons. They can open as long as they feel that they're ready. We're not going to be doing an inspection of them all right away. We're open for them to calling us if they have any questions to provide them. The information is there. Ici, on voit, nous avons de guidance, documents de guidance pour pas mal, beaucoup des activités qui vont ouvrir. Bien sûr, on a les plages, on va ajouter bientôt, très bientôt, pour les services personnels, les coiffeurs, etc. Au niveau des piscines, les garderies, tout ça, on va le mettre là. L'autre chose qui est très utile, another thing that's very useful is the government website, which is you can get under ontario.ca/COVID safety. Or you just go to ontario.ca coronavirus to get a link. Donc, si vous allez à ontario.ca slash coronavirus, vous allez trouver les liens en anglais et en français. And this is really a very good summary of documents, of guidance documents in the construction, manufacturing, restaurant, and service center. And then there's a whole slew of just general things that people can go and get from these websites. Again, this is be very pertinent for individuals that are starting to prepare for opening this weekend or beyond. And I just want to also stress as well that um, it, the date of June 12th means they can open, doesn't mean they have to open, but I do understand there is a bit of an urgency. They've been out of business for so long, and I can understand them. So I'm sharing these in the hope that the public can see this and at least know where to go, and the business owners can go. The other thing as well is there is a um, uh, very comprehensive section in this underneath here that has all kinds of safety, ranging from curbside pickup to executives and management, lawn care workers. There's a whole slew of guidance documents that are here and ready to be shared with anybody. Donc, je vais le faire en français aussi parce que on va aller sur la section français aussi. Donc, vous pouvez voir, on a des ressources ici au niveau de antérieur.ca. Vous pouvez voir, oh, c'est pas encore. It's not in French. I want it in French. Si la m'avait traduit. Mais en tout cas, je pense qu'on a pas mal des choses en français aussi. Mais here we are. Voilà. Donc, on l'a ici. Donc, on en a aperçu en français. On a au niveau des secteurs de la construction, agriculture, vente à détail, au niveau de nettoyage, équipement, lieu de travail, transactions de détail aussi. Et aussi en bas, nous avons une liste beaucoup de guidances au niveau de qui est à la porte service, fournisseurs de services de garderie, camp de jour. On a vraiment, c'est très compréhensif. On a pas mal beaucoup de pages ici. Donc, ça, je pense que c'est très important qu'on le partage. And I think it's very important that we share this information because I know that people are anxious. Business owners are anxious to get going. People want to go back to the pool, want to go to the beach, and those type of things. And again, we caution people. Again, we've had a couple of sporadic cases in our area. Again, it's still in our area. COVID virus can sort of creep out on us. We need to be able to again continue these openings that are going to happen on Friday. We need to again help employers and their clients as well to ensure that we support them with the documentation and ensure that they follow distancing and all these other precautions as well, because that will then bring us to the next stage where everything else will open up even more. Donc, c'est très important de souligner encore que dès vendredi, on va avoir plus des activités et beaucoup plus des commerces qui vont ouvrir, les centres d'achat, les coiffeurs, etc. Donc, ce serait très important quand même de respecter qu'on est toujours dans une pandémie et on va être toujours prudent pour nous rassurer que les gens, soit les employeurs, soit les personnes de commerce, soit les clients, la public aussi, respectent aussi les consignes, respectent les précautions, parce que c'est la seule moyen qu'on pourrait procéder d'une façon efficace, sécure, qui vont nous amener aux prochaines étapes, qui vont ouvrir beaucoup plus des activités et qui va aussi avoir une extension des numéros de chiffres des personnes qui pourraient être ensemble. So not only will we be looking at opening up more of some of the businesses and some of the activities, but we're also going to be looking at increasing the number of people that can gather as well. So I think it's very important for us to ensure that we follow those precautions. And again, keep in mind that we're still in a pandemic. We're still very fragile state because worldwide you can see in the United States they're still having cases. South America is unbelievable. I think they've had something like 30 to 40,000 cases increase per day just in Brazil. Peru as well. Mexico is having cases worldwide. Russia is. Iran, there's other countries as well. So it's we're not out of the woods yet. However, we have done well in our community, and I think that just make sure that we continue collectively, adhering to these precautions, social distancing, washing your hands, disinfecting, not going out when you're sick, lavage des mains, distance physique, ne pas sortir si vous êtes malade, porter des masques si vous ne pouvez pas respecter les distances, wear masks if you can't adhere to the physical distancing in certain situations. So I think it's very important for us to do that. I've got two questions here that I'm going to address. One of them is can oh, this is from Nelson from Mission Valley News. Can the doctor clarify which provincial COVID table he sits on? Is it the so-called command table? No, I do not sit on the command table. The command table is sort of on top. I sit on what's called the public health measures table. That is that has six representatives, medical officers of health from the six different regions: East, Central East, Toronto, and so on. And our goal, the goal of the the reason the public health measure tables exist is to advise the chief medical officer of health on public health measures, on opening, on what can open, how it can open, and give some semblance to the framework. We contributed to that framework, but our advice goes to the chief medical officer of health. It's just advice that then is transmitted to the command table, the premier, and the cabinet, and so on. So that's the table that I'm on. It's really advice to the chief medical officer of health, who then looks at all the science, looks at all the evidence, looks at all the data, and gives recommendations to the government, and the government then makes the decisions. The final decisions is the command table and the government, the premier and the premier's office, and so on. So I just wanted to clarify that. I have another question here from Standard Freeholder. Please explain the process EOHU goes through when a person group asks to be able to hold an event gathering that exceeds the current recommended maximum number of people. Well, in general, we do, if it's going to be a gathering, a festival or anything like that that has more than the recommended number, we're not going to look at that. However, we have been getting questions now and about drive-through and drive-ins, because now they're allowed. So we have to look at the conditions, look at the type of a gathering that they want to do. As you know, drive-in churches are allowed now. Drive-throughs are allowed to. Drive-in concerts are allowed. Drive-in theaters are allowed as well. So that's different because they're individual cars, so it's a different context. In general, we will not look at the anything that has more than the recommended number. Again, and that number will change as we move forward.